What's up, guys? It's Brian with American Legacy again. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Although you probably don't know what that means because it's only the second time we've done this. But it's time for another Ultimate Rod Series video. And today we are going topwater walking baits. One of my favorite techniques, one of my favorite presentations. Everybody loves a good topwater bite. So let's pick out a few good rods that really fit the bill and will help you get more bites, because this is a presentation where the rod really, really matters. It could not only be the difference between catching more fish, but you got to get the bites. And with the right rod, you can get more bites on the topwater bait. You can make the bait do what it needs to do to elicit a response from these green and brown fish that we chase all around and try to find a way to catch. And so that's what we're here for. We want you to catch more fish. So we're going to talk about this. The first thing I do want to talk about that I will briefly discuss is lure rating and even line rating on these rods is not super important to me. So this is frustrating for us. It's frustrating for the consumer. And it's just part of the online rod buying process that I think the industry needs to do a better job of clarifying. So these lure ratings, that we are aware of, there's no industry standard to come up with these ratings. So a rod may be rated for up to 5/8 of an ounce. That rod may also be perfectly acceptable to throw an ounce topwater bait on. So when I've selected these rods, I have paid very little attention to the lure ratings. And this is where it's difficult for you, the consumer, because when you're buying rods online and you can't pick them up and feel them in your hand, you are forced to look at a spec sheet. And so you may look at a rod, dismiss it because the lure rating is off, when in reality, that's the perfect rod for your application. So just be mindful of that lure ratings are a guideline. Your rod's not going to spontaneously combust because you throw an ounce and a half topwater bait on a rod that's rated for up to 3/4 an ounce. It will be fine as long as you don't abuse it, and as long as you are reasonable within those limitations, then you're going to be just fine. So with all of that being said, let's get started. I'm going to go with the first category, which a brief refresher. We are doing the best rod under $150. Under $300. And the third one is, I don't care what it costs, just give me the best rod. So first one, under $150. This is a Shimano product. It is a rod that we do not sell very many of. And I believe that's incorrect. We should sell more. It's an awesome rod, and it is a lot of bang for the buck. It comes in at $149.99. It's the Shimano Intenza 6'9" medium. Now, this rod fits pretty much everything I'm looking for in a walking bait rod. I want to have a rod that has a soft tip. Check. I want a rod that is crisp enough that I can really make that bait work. Check. And I want it to be lightweight. It is. I want it to be balanced well. It is. Do I need it to be balanced all that well? Not really. I have the rod tip pointing down most of the time, but it still helps. It just feels good in hand, and that's important. Especially, it can be fatiguing on the wrist. So we want it to be balanced, and it is. It's just a good all-around rod for throwing a topwater bait, and I can accommodate Sammy 100s. I can throw SB 125s from Evergreen. I can throw Vixens. I can throw your Super Spooks. It hits a wide range of walking baits, and that's important. You don't want to have 3 or 4 different rods for throwing walking baits that kind of get expensive pretty quick. Not that some of us don't anyway, but nonetheless, this rod is, like I said, it's a very good value. The whole Intenza series is very good value. The original Intenzas were kind of a funky design. They had a bizarre kind of Velcro-y like handle to them. Did not sell very well at all. We thought that these new versions, the A series, if you will, would sell really, really well, and that has not necessarily come to fruition. But don't sleep on these guys. They're an awesome series of rods, especially for the money. They do a great job. So that takes care of that one. So the next one is under $300. And I'm going to modify my own rules to my own videos, and I'm going to add in a bonus rod here that's under $200. because I just like it enough that I feel like it needs to be mentioned, and it needs to not just be an honorable mention. It needs to actually get its own spot. And that's the Tattoo Elite 6'10" jerkbait rod. So this is another medium. It's regular bend, so it's a slightly more parabolic action than the Intensa rod that we just discussed. Comes in at $189.99. Same thing here. This fits all the good things I'm looking for on a good topwater rod. They have in this Tattoo Elite series, they do have a topwater specific rod. It is a medium to light, and it is very soft. There is a consumer that will like that and appreciate that. Unfortunately, that is not what I prefer in a topwater rod. So if that is what you're looking for, if you're looking for something very soft and very parabolic, that is a great option. But to me, this jerkbait rod in their lineup, it's Patrick Walter's signature series rod, is an excellent choice. It bends a little further into the blank than the Intensa, which is really good if you are using braid with a topwater bait. That is a valuable asset to have, is a little bit more flexibility. This offers that. Still a very nice tip. It still has a reasonably crisp action for something that is, more on the parabolic side. It is not parabolic, but more on the parabolic side. So it just checks all the boxes, and definitely, it was worthy of its own spot, even though it doesn't fit perfectly into one of our criteria. So wanted to throw that in there. Again, that's under 200. Another really good option. So under 300. There's a rod that I have, I don't have a lot to say about it other than one very compelling argument, and that is a Dobyns Champion XP 705 CB. And here's why I like this rod so much. There's a man by the name of Gary Dobyns. It's an unbelievable fisherman, and he told me this is the best topwater rod. And when Gary tells me something, I listen. One, because he's very smart. He's caught way more bass than I've ever seen in my life. But he's also very scary. So I listen to him, and I mean that in a good way. So I like this a whole hell of a lot. And it's probably my favorite overall topwater rod. I'm going to go over I don't care what it costs, give me the best rod category here in a minute. But even with that being said, I'd still probably just buy one of these. Like I said, Gary recommended it. Gary's not wrong. It's a great rod. Now, it is a crankbait action, so it's moderate fast. So this rod has a decent amount of tip to it. It is less crisp than, say, the Intensa just because of that moderate fast action. But you can really make a bait walk with this. And what I like about it is that moderate fast action. When you hook a fish with this, first of all, you are more likely to have a successful hookup with this. You are more likely to keep that fish hidden once you have, gotten them to bite. So that is an important component of it. You get them hooked up, they're going to jump, they're going to do all kinds of crazy stuff. That soft tip and moderate fast action will keep them where they need to be, which is on your line. Also, take a picture and everybody's happy. So I really like this Dobyns rod. It just does everything we needed to do. This is a popular option. It's one of our best-selling models. You can use it for crankbaits. You can use it for hookless crankbaits. You can use it for jerkbaits. There's a ton of versatility with this model. And walking baits, definitely one of the biggest ones. So check this one out for sure. They're right around $250. Awesome rod. Perfect freaking action. Love this one. So last, but certainly not least, we have not, in the first series, we didn't have a Megabass rod. And then 3 rods through this one, and I still don't have a Megabass rod. So we're going to change that. Got a Megabass Destroyer P5. We got their 110 special. So many of you may know that Vision 110 is not a topwater bait, but I don't care. This is still a great topwater bait rod. Great walking bait rod. It fits kind of a unique niche, in my opinion, between all of these rods that we've talked about. It's 6'10", 6'11", what is it, 6'11". So it's got a little bit more power than the other ones do. So this is like and again, I'm not talking the big mega stuff, but my bigger walk the dog baits, I want to go on this rod. And it's, being a P5, it's super lightweight. It has a really, really crisp blank to it. And so there are a lot of situations where I do like to have a more crisp, more fast rod for my topwater presentations. I like to be able to, have a variety of speeds and a variety of cadences with those. And I think that is easier to achieve with a rod that has a faster, more crisp action. So you don't want something that is too stiff, obviously, but that crispness and that tip really do serve a purpose, especially if you are still of the more old school variety where you like to throw them on filament. Then you don't want some super parabolic slow action rod. You need something that's got faster tip, more crisp action, and that really does well. So this rod, unbelievable action. Great jerkbait rod too, so you can hit several different applications with this as well. And it's just unbelievable rod. P5, the whole lineup is just fantastic. So check them out. All of these rods are available at AmericanLegacyFishing.com. Tell us in the comments, what rods did we miss? What presentation do you want us to do next? What other video ideas you got for us? Hit us up. Let's come up with some stuff, make it fun, interactive, and let's grow this channel. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.